Morning Fit fam, it's Sunday. I just finished doing back in the garage. As usual, I had a fucking amazing workout. I've been having great workouts for a long time. I have a nephew that is a personal trainer, and he also has a meal prep company in New York. And every time I go to New York, he and I go to the gym together and we work out. He's 28 years old, and he doesn't do any mobility work. So oftentimes when we work out together, certain movements, he starts complaining about rotator cuff pain. And I tell him about mobility, and he knows the journey that I went through with my mobility. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll get around to that. And finish working out. He doesn't do any mobility stretches before he leaves the gym. And that was me. For many years, that was me. I did the same thing. So I want to go over some things. Yesterday I was commenting on Daddy Rooster's video. He posted a leg workout, and in his video he was doing squats on the Smith machine, and he was referring to the amount of weight that he lifted and his depth in the squat, indicating that he was limited in that, because I think he might have mentioned because of his age. Or because he hadn't worked out in a long time and is just getting back into fitness to get back in shape. But someone commented on his video saying, hey, if you're at a certain age, over 50, you shouldn't be doing those things. You should be swimming and doing cardio. And I commented back to the person and said, well, you know what? I disagree. That hasn't been my experience. So I'm going to touch on this topic, and this is story time, so I'm going to drive around my neighborhood so that I can get this story in. I, for many years, couldn't bench press. I would get shoulder pain, rotator cuff pain, and I summed it up to being old. I would say, well, you know what? I'm in my 40s. This is in my 40s. I'm in my 40s. I'm too old. I can't handle this. So I even bought like a multi-grip bar that I have in my garage gym. As a crutch to be able to do some type of bench press work in the garage, because I couldn't do a straight bar bench press. Then I started researching it and found this thing called XYW raises. Look that up, XYW raises. I started doing those XYW raises to strengthen my my rotator cuff, my supportive tissue, and guess what? I can bench press now. But wait a minute. If you're a certain age, you shouldn't be bench pressing because you get pain from that. So what, did I discover the fountain of youth, and now in my 50s I could bench press when in my 40s I couldn't because I was old in my 40s? No, it's because I figured out what the problem was. If you have not seen some of my previous videos where I talk about my neck injury, 2 years ago, I think it's going on 3 now, I had injured my neck. I pinched my nerve in my C5, C6, and I lost complete strength in my left arm. I couldn't do pull-ups. My arm was like spaghetti because I pinched the nerve. I went and got assessed, went to physical therapy, and it turns out the physical therapist uncovered that I had tight lats, tight pectorals, and there's children on the road. That I had tight lats and a tight chest, and I didn't have any thoracic flexibility or extension. In other words, I was compensating, injured myself doing the overhead press. That's how I pinched the nerve. I was using my back, my lower back, to give me the range of motion that I needed to do that lift. And over, I guess, I don't know how long it took for it to happen, but eventually I want to say my vertebrae subluxed a little bit and pinched on the nerve, and the pain was excruciating. It was one of the most painful things that I can describe to you, and it took me 6 months to heal from that injury. I had to slowly add 5 pounds here, 5 pounds here over time to get my strength back, and it took 6 months. And I was one of those guys at the gym that did no mobility work for, I want to say, almost 25, 30 years of lifting. I was one of those guys that, just like my nephew, would go to the gym, do a little warm up, go to my heavy weight, lift as heavy as I could, sometimes strain, sometimes pull things, and when I'm done with my workout, throw my jacket on, my hoodie, whatever, and leave the gym. That's it. And I would see guys, there was guys in particular that I remember clearly on the mats off to the side doing their stretching and all this stuff. And I used to be very judgmental over them. I would look at them and be like, why are these guys wasting their time over there doing all those bullshit stretches? They could just warm up and do the movement. This is such a big waste of time. I was one of those guys that criticized those people. For many, many years, I didn't do mobility work. My point is, a lifter of any age can bench press unless you've torn something. Unless you've torn something and never got it repaired. That's different. I'm talking about someone who's never had like a tendon rupture. But if you are a normal person, you never tore anything, and if you tore it and you didn't get it repaired, that's different. You should be able to do a bench press. You should be able to do a behind the neck press. You should be able to do dips. You should be able to do squats. All those movements you should be able to do if you've addressed your mobility and stability. I have videos, if anybody cares to, if anybody even watches this video, I have videos showing myself squatting a few years back, and my mobility was atrocious. This was before I injured my neck. I was, for a lack of a better term, half squatting sometimes. I had 3 plates on the bar, thinking that I was strong and I was, impressive. And I was half repping on my squats because my body couldn't take me there. When I injured my neck, I did an overall assessment of my mobility throughout my body. They sent me to the physical therapist to address my neck. But when I got there, thank goodness I had a physical therapist that I just picked her brain. Every time I went, I was like, what about this? What about that? I became the master of, look this up, the pigeon stretch and the couch stretch. Those 2 stretches have enabled me to do ass to grass squats today. One of the reasons why I think that people are astonished when I tell them how old I am at the gym, every so often I get into conversations with people and I tell them how old I am, they're shocked when I tell them. They think I'm in my 30s, 40s. And I believe that one of the reasons why they think that is because of the way I move. When I do squats, I go all the way down and I do it comfortably, smoothly, in a very fluid fashion. I can do pistol squats. If you don't know what pistol squats are, look that up. I can do that. I have videos of me doing pistol squats, and every so often when I feel like being like a silverback at the gym, I'll do pistol squats, and it blows people's minds when they see it. Everybody looks over when I do them because not a lot of humans can do a pistol squat. My nephew, 28-year-old, fit as hell, can't do pistol squats. And the reason why I'm able to do that, and only as of recent times I could do that, I couldn't do that when I was in my 20s and 30s, it was because I addressed my mobility. Couch stretch, pigeon stretch. You become really good those 2 particular stretches, you're going to be doing ass to grass squats in a couple of months, and you're going to be doing it smoothly and comfortably, and people are going to be like, wow, this person must be young because look how he's moving on those squats. There are a lot of guys at my gym that are in their 30s, in their 20s. In their 20s, guys, I kid you not. There are guys in their 20s that I see at my gym squatting, and they're like shivering and shaking. They're unstable. They're doing half reps and coming back up. Young people, age has nothing to do with what you can do in the weight room. Sure, there's wear and tear that happens over time. That, I probably have gotten some wear and tear over time from working out all these years, but it hasn't affected me. I don't have any type of arthritis. I'm not taking any types of painkillers. It has not affected me in a negative way, the wear and tear. I'm sure if I got an MRI done, they'd probably find some bulges and herniations. They'll definitely probably find it in my neck and in my lower back, but those things have not affected me in my training career. So I just wanted to address this, that if you're of a certain age, and the constant dogma now online is when people see your videos like, oh my goodness, you're a certain age, you shouldn't be doing these kind of lifts. These lifts will injure you. It is fallacy. It is not true. At a certain age, you can do all the lifts if you address your mobility and stability. That's very, very important, guys. If you're getting back into fitness now and you haven't worked out in a long time, you want to concentrate on mobility and stability. Like I said, I did the XYW raises, and that gave me the stability I needed in my rotator cuff muscles to be able to bench press. I bench press pain-free today at 52 years old, and my 42-year-old self couldn't do bench press without pain. I had to do dumbbell bench presses. I had to do hammer strength bench presses. Nothing to do with age. It had to do that I didn't have strong stabilizer muscles, and I needed to strengthen those muscles in order to bench press. That's the takeaway. That's the take-home message today for you guys. Don't fall into this trap. People, oh my goodness, you're too old. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be lifting weights. You should be swimming and riding a bike. As an aging athlete, one of the best things that you can do for yourself is strengthen your muscles, which in turn strengthens your bones. I don't know if a lot of you guys realize this, but as you get stronger on your lifts, your bones get stronger. Your bones build over time and thicken and get stronger. Your bone density increases. That's a huge way to avoid all-cause mortality as an older individual, is to have strong bones. And if you have strong muscles, your bones will follow suit. So I think I ran it on long enough. I hope the 2 or 3 people that saw my last video enjoyed that video. I really enjoyed producing that video on Friday. I didn't film today because, quite frankly, I wasn't really motivated to do so. It adds extra time. When I film my workouts, it adds like an extra 30 minutes to my session, and I just didn't feel it was worth it for me at this time to add an additional 30 minutes of my time in the garage working out just to make a video that 1 or 2 people might view. But this particular video here, the 1 or 2 people that do view my videos, I kind of want you guys to see this video, because I feel like this video has a lot of golden nuggets that are good take-home messages for people who are going to constantly be coming at you saying, oh, you're a certain age, you shouldn't be doing these certain types of lifts because they're dangerous and you can get hurt. You can get hurt with any kind of lift. Look at me. I'm constantly getting hurt from doing front squats. And I watched a video just a few minutes ago from Natural Gallant Bodybuilding that mentioned, it kind of mentioned me. He mentioned a couple of lifts that would hurt people if they're doing it very heavy and doing it from a large range of motion. I do ass to grass front squats. Anyone can go to my videos and see that, because I've developed that mobility and stability to be able to do it, and I go heavy on it, at least for me. And one of the things that Natural Gallant mentioned in his video was, like, if you have like a wide range of motion in your lifts and you're going very, very heavy and you're consistently getting hurt from doing it, perhaps you shouldn't go heavy on that particular movement. You should go in the higher rep range. And I'm like, whoa, light bulb. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe shooting to do two plate plus front squats is not a good idea for my anatomy. Maybe I should be working in the 10 rep range instead of the 5 rep range with a lighter weight, like 185. So I think I'm gonna like try that out and see how that works for me. Boom, there you go. There's so much knowledge out there on the internet. And Natural Gallant made a video this morning. He mentioned a few lifts, and front squats was one of them. And I was like, oh my God, that's me. I'm consistently getting hurt from front squats because I'm going heavy in the 5 rep range. I'm going to try doing 8 to 10 rep range and lighten the load and see what happens and report back. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go to the store now. I have a few items I needed to pick up. Like I said, I did a quick loop around the neighborhood so I could get all this in. I just hope you guys get something out of this video, man. I really do. And I felt the need to post this video. Even though I didn't plan on posting a video today, I felt the need that if you're an aging lifter, please watch this video. Please heed what I'm saying. Age has nothing to do with your abilities. If you increase your mobility and stability, age has nothing to do with it. Work on that. Don't work on just getting stronger on your lifts. Work on your range of motion. And if you do that, you'll be like me. You'll be able to bench press in your later years when you couldn't do it in your earlier years. Anyway, guys, take care, and I hope you have a great Sunday, and I'll see you on the next one.